I'm Kaylin, your abundance coach, here to make you more abundant. I am also co-founder of the Golden Flow system of accelerated well-being and abundance. In this video, I want to talk to you and help you change your mind about how you process your thoughts and feelings, because this alone can really change what law of attraction then brings you. And here's what I mean. A lot of people think that they have changed their mind. A lot of people think that they are working with law of attraction. But the bottom line is, if you aren't getting the results in life you want, if you aren't experiencing what you want, your energy is still attracting the wrong thing. So your energy is not quite where you want it to be. So let's change that today, because it's all about energy, and it's all about making sure that you have the energy that you prefer. That means you're having better experiences, you're feeling better, you're having a better experience, because that's what law of attraction is then bringing back to you. So for today, what I want to do is I want to first tell you a story. I did a private session this weekend in which a young woman was having issues with her relationship and at work. In both arenas, she was sort of feeling a little rejected, a little like she wasn't being treated fairly, even though she was trying not to be mad, not to be sad, not to be hurt, and instead to really be positive and really put forward a better energy. But it really wasn't working. Why? For this, the reason it wasn't working is the same reason it doesn't work for so many people, because there's something wrong. And really, you can't take a feeling, an experience, and put it to the side or cover it up with your idea to really have a better energy, to be more professional at work and have things work out better. It doesn't work. Why? Because at that point you have this kind of scenario where you've got your issues, you've got your feelings, you've got your experience, and the energy of all of those, and then you have trying to cover it up. Well, law of attraction is responding to this. The other thing that's going on is law of self, which says you are what you say you are, and when you honor yourself, you're who you say you are, and then law of attraction responds to who you truly are. Law of self isn't going on unless you are unhappiness, unless you're those issues. So let's change that. Let's clear that up, because that's something that really happens to so many people. So many people are trying to bring something better in. They're trying to not respond to the things that they don't prefer in life, but those things are still there. So the real problem is, you can say that you want to be who you truly are and be more confident, be more of a lover, be all the things you are, and in a way sort of drown out what you're not, but that generally doesn't work. If it works, that's great. That means it's not an issue for you. However, for example, this weekend, the woman I was helping said that one of the problems is the things keep getting triggered. In other words, something happens and someone mentions the name of the person who's driving her crazy at work, and then all of a sudden, like, one little sentence turns into this big monster of feelings. Every time that she's been bothered comes back. And there's a real good reason for that. The reason isn't that she's holding a grudge. It has nothing to do with that. She's really trying to move on from it, like I know so many people are. At which point you're not abundant. You don't feel abundant. You feel frustrated. You feel sort of stuck. You feel sort of trapped and certainly unhappy. Well, the reason for it is, when you've got this kind of scenario and you've got the things going on that you don't like, you don't really let them be with you. Instead, you sort of shove them to the side. So to explain this in a way you're going to understand even better, let's look at when you're in the flow, and law of attraction is working so well with food. Food is the same thing. It's an experience, just like feeling bad, just like being dissed at work, those are all just experiences. So let's use the experience of food, because everyone understands this experience really well. With food, you have lunch, you welcome it, you say, oh, I'm hungry, it's time for lunch, that'd be great. Then you eat it, you put it in your mouth, you allow it to be there. If you want, you could say you embrace it, and then you let your body digest it. Well, you're really using the Golden Flow system. The Golden Flow system isn't something we invented. It's something that's really rather natural to you. The Golden Flow system consists of 3 steps. Number 1, you welcome. You welcome that food. Number 2, you embrace it. You allow it to be here. You allow it to affect you. And then number 3, you let it flow. You let it go from there. You let your body extract what's nutritious. You let your body do away with what's not nutritious. Well, you need to do the same exact thing with every experience in your life. Now, there are experiences that are no big deal. You naturally let them flow. There are other experiences that really have you in their grip. They haven't let you go, and you haven't gotten in the flow with them. In that case, I want you to think of what would happen to food if you put it in your mouth but you didn't swallow it. Maybe you spit it back out. Or you have something really, gross like liver or spinach, and instead of eating it, you're like, oh, I know I don't like the way you taste. But then it's right here, and you're like, no, I don't like the way you taste. No, oh, I don't like the way you taste. Then it's like you're always tasting it, even though it's not even in your mouth. Have you ever had that kind of thing before? The same thing happens when we're resistant about something. There's something you have to do, and you resist it. No. For example, I've painted my house, and I have to finish painting the bathroom. But I've been resistant, a little resistant about it. It's like, I don't want to paint. I don't want to paint. So it's there, and it's real active. The reason for it is just like food that you're not really eating. An experience like that is bouncing in your energy. So it seems like you're being tortured by it, or you're constantly under its thumb. It's there, and it's there. I don't want to paint. I haven't had the time to paint. Oh, I have to tape first. It's going to take so long. I don't have the time. I keep having these thoughts about the painting, and if it were food, it would be like I'd keep saying, I don't like liver. I don't want to eat liver. I don't want spinach. It's almost like it becomes bigger than if I would just eat the spinach. It becomes a bigger deal than if I would just start painting and be done with it, kind of thing. So it's bouncing around. Now, if you can get a good sense of this, or if you can sense energy, you're going to understand from this that it's active in your energy. And that is exactly what law of attraction is now feeling like you're pointing most to. Because this is what's most active. It's what's the loudest, kind of thing. And even your good intentions to be a better person, for example, or for me to take care of some other priorities before I paint, well, they're a lot softer spoken, if you will. Their energy isn't as loud and it isn't as active as this, because this has been bouncing around within your energy. Again, if you can sense energy, you're going to have a really good sense that, yes, you can sense that stuck energy in your own field, in yourself. Whereas if instead you practice the golden flow and you, number 1, welcome it, instead of keeping it at bay, you're going to let it be here. Number 2, you allow it to be here. You embrace it. You experience the experience. So for example, you experience the spinach, or in my client's case this weekend, you experience what it feels like to be a little heartbroken or to be a little rejected. I know it's not fun, but afterwards it's going to be a lot more fun because you're going to be done with this. For me, painting, I just welcome what it feels like to resist the painting. So you let it be here. You let it affect you. Because welcoming resisting the painting just means that I acknowledge it. I just feel what it feels like, and it just feels like I have other things. And then once you do that, number 3, you let it flow if it hasn't already dissipated on its own. Because just like food that we chew and then we digest, it naturally dissipates. We have a digestive system that takes it apart and sort of evaporates it away, kind of thing. Again, extracting the good, getting rid of the bad. Well, the same thing happens. And when I do that, for example, with my painting, I find that I'll get to it when I have time. I do have some other priorities. So why feel bad about it? Why look at the walls and go, oh, these need to be painted? Instead, I can look at the walls and go, I'll get to them soon. The difference between those two statements, though, is really the energy under them, because that's what law of attraction is going to respond to. The other significant difference between those two energies is that in one of the energies, in one statement, I'm being who I truly am. I'm a woman who is all about my priorities. I like to take care of what's important to me because it's important to me. And then I feel good because I've taken care of what's meaningful to me. In the other scenario, when I look at the walls and go, oh, I'm not being who I am, I'm not honoring myself, so I'm also not living by the law of self. Law of attraction is always responding to our energy. Law of attraction does not stop and say, I'm only going to respond to your authentic energy. It responds to whatever you put forth. If I put forth the statement like, oh, these walls are looking so sad, I really have to paint them, then law of attraction is responding to that version because that is what I'm saying myself is. Myself at that point is a victim. I'm a victim of my walls instead of recognizing that I'm an empowered person who has priorities. The walls are one of my priorities, but they're just not at the top of my list. Making a video today was at the top of my list because it's important to me. So do you get a good sense how it can be subtle, but it's such a big change for you? When you're in the flow, you're going to honor yourself, which means you're going to be more of yourself. Frankly, you're going to like yourself better. When you're in the flow, also law of attraction can then see who you truly are because you are honoring who you are. And by honoring who you are, law of attraction knows the energy that you want it to attract from. At that point, you have a very different experience. I know that there are a lot of people out there who are frustrated because they have these experiences and they're trying to be who they are on top of them. They're trying to raise their energy, they're trying to be positive, and that just, sometimes it works, but most of the time it just doesn't work. And the reason it doesn't work over 90% of the time is because unless it's an ittle thing that you really can put yourself on top of and your energy is more vibrant than it and you can dissipate it yourself, most of the time we have something bigger going on. Most of the time we have something going on that's been going on for a long time. And because we haven't put it in the flow to let it dissipate or digest and be in the flow, be gone. So we haven't let ourselves take the good parts and get rid of the bad parts naturally without our trying. Because we haven't done that, it's there and it's taking up energetic space. And that's what law of attraction is seeing. That's also now who we have become. We've become the things we don't like with our positive intent on top of it. Why not instead let ourselves be who we truly are? When we get in the flow, things become effortless. Why? There's no more trying. You don't have to try to look at the walls in my bathroom and like them. Instead, you look at them and you remember that you have priorities. Naturally. You don't have to try to do that. You can fake it, and I know some people fake it till they make it, but that it still includes trying. It's not a place of freedom. Be free. Get yourself in the flow so that law of attraction is bringing what you want because law of attraction is responding to the law of self, to you. You're free because you don't have to try. You're just being who you are. And that, my friends, is a wonderful feeling. I'm Kaylin, your abundance coach, and I know that I've given you something to think about today and that I have helped you look at how it is that you can be free to be who you truly are because who you truly are is far more abundant. And then law of attraction can attract like mad because all the things that it's going to bring you are abundant. Thank you for joining me. Please subscribe if you want to get some more wonderful videos from me, your abundance coach. Hit like for me and feel free to visit golden-flow-system.com where there are more processes on flowing so that you can get in the flow and all sorts of other things like workshops for you. Thanks again, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.